Hi, everyone. This is Rob Roy of Elliott Wave Options, and welcome to this special presentation with our guest, Fausto. Always know that when you're known by one name that you've made it in whatever industry that you're in. So don't need to even give the last name. Just when you hear Fausto, you know who we're talking about. We've talked to him before. We're going to do some follow-up. So very happy to have him with us again today. So let's go ahead and bring him in. Then we'll take a look at the chart of the markets, talk about what's going on. How you doing today, Fausto?
I'm doing good, Rob. Thanks for having me again. It was a pleasure.
All right, let's talk about the market. Let's show you the chart of the S&P. And right now we're in the pattern that I like to trade most often. People that watch are aware. It's this Elliott Wave zigzag pattern within a wave 3 of a 5-wave pattern. We're moving to the upside. We have this little bit of a rising pennant pattern here. Through consolidation, and we've been kind of tiptoeing around the upper end of this range. Kind of feel like maybe we're going to back off a little bit. You know, we've had this big post-election run, and then I do think that we do hit that 100% extension. It's my favorite of all zigzag patterns, so the likelihood of going up above 610, I think, is likely. The question I wanted to ask you, Fausto, is what do you think as far as at some point in time we're going to have another corrective move, right? I heard the message yesterday that the market on average corrects 10% every 364 days. And so basically once a year. And we're right at that level now. We haven't had one this year. We're into December, so we're pushing that. Do we get a 10% correction? Are we going to violate that this time? But it does look like the market needs to back off a little bit. So in looking at the chart, do we continue higher through the end of the year? Do you think we have that normal seasonal melt up and then perhaps some more volatility in January? Maybe that's when we get a corrective move before moving higher. Or do we correct beforehand? Because as you know, this is a lower volume time of the year. And even though it normally results in a melt up, the old expression, never short a dull market, but with lower volume can come increased volatility. We've had that in the past. What are you thinking as far as where we go throughout the rest of the year?
Well, historically, for doing this over 35 years, there's always a correction every 8 years. Big correction in the market. Now you're looking every year. I'm talking about the big crashes that we get, if it's COVID, if it's like the financial crisis or anything else. It took 13 years from the financial crisis until we had COVID. So that was like the biggest correction. Now, regarding it to yours, I'll be honest with you. I mean, it's always healthy for the market to go down. You need to go down before you can go up. Okay. Right. Because you got to build that stability. I'm not really seeing anything that is going to show that correction other than maybe, a little profit taking here and there. But as of right now, S&P is breaking all-time highs at 6,075. Dow is basically just knocking on the door of 45,000 right now. I'm not really seeing it yet. I mean, unless somebody's out there or some bad news come out or some catastrophe, I'm still bullish. I've been bullish all year. So, I don't really see it yet.
Yeah, there's a chart of the Dow, and it's awfully similar to the S&P moving to the upside. Maybe not quite the consolidating pennant pattern, but other than that, very, very similar. I wanted to ask you a question. They're talking about animal spirits and that, everything is wonderful following the election. We're going to have a pro-growth administration, a pro-crypto, which we'll get to in a moment. Last time we talked AI and crypto, so we'll do some follow-up on that. But the last question before we get into that I wanted to ask you is, are you concerned at all about the sentiment? It seems to be awfully bullish at this point in time. And when everybody views the market one way, it tends to go the other way. And we're kind of getting there on the sentiment side of things. Does that cause you any concern, or you just feel like the metrics are all set up that we do have that traditional seasonal melt up into the year?
Listen, with the new administration coming, I mean, like, you're talking about somebody with a totally different type of, unorthodox, that they're actually going to be pushing certain stocks, and a lot of stocks are benefiting from it. I mean, listen, I've been doing this so long, things surprise me every day, and with this new administration coming in, with a new FTC, a new FDA, new everything. So these stocks are not backing off. I mean, I'm looking at Amazon. I mean, everyone, you hear the holiday season's coming around. That stock is doing phenomenal today. It's up about almost $6, broke all-time highs. We'll talk about the cryptos like PLTR and all them. I'm not really seeing it. I mean, other than this time of the season, going into December, people are worried about the holiday season. Christmas is around the corner. People are looking to take their profit, their tax break, want to close out some of their tax stocks, take those tax breaks, and you'll probably get some flatness going on right now. But I'm telling you, they're really excited about this new president in the market, coming in. The market likes it. So I'm just running the wave until I see it come down. Roy, I've been long, and we haven't been wrong yet.
No, and probably the oldest expression in the world of trading is the trend is your friend, right? So you trade no matter what you think is going to happen. And that was a message that I learned a long time ago. You've been trading longer than me, and I've been around for quite a while as well. But when you get to the point, and this was my own experience, I started off trading. I did really well. Turned out it was more that I was lucky than good in the beginning. And then as I learned more and more and more, I started thinking, I know where the market's going to go, right? Based on all this knowledge that I've acquired, this is what the market should do. And when you start trading based on what you think the market's going to do versus what the market is actually doing, you've set yourself up for trouble, which is what happened to me in my early days. So I made a lot of money in the beginning, gave a bunch of it back, and then said, okay, it's time to realize the market is king. You trade what the market gives you. And I think that's important. Funny you mentioned Amazon. We actually gave that out as the case study consideration in yesterday's Trade Finder. So I'm with you on Amazon. I think it continues to go higher. That looks like a great looking chart as well. Last time we did talk AI and cryptos. I was going to show you a couple of the AI signals that we have here. And if you had any comments, great. If not, we can move into the crypto world. But here's a couple of signals, one on FTI. And the AI gives us this percentage rating of how high it's going to go. So we're almost to the target here on FTI, so probably not much to comment there. And then FTNT is moving higher as well. Those are a couple of alerts that we have out for our subscribers. And that one looks like it has some more room to run. But this is how our AI works. We had this conversation last time we chatted about AI, and so I thought I would show you an example of what it does. It actually gives you a score on a price target. So it goes, this is where it's likely to go. This is a percentage chance that it's going to get there. So it's kind of cool. Any comments on either of those two stocks? If not, we'll just move into cryptos.
No, I mean, listen, what's scary about what you're showing there is look where it started back in September. I mean, look how much percentage-wise you're already up and how the AI is already figuring it out. And let me tell you, I don't know if anyone ever screwed around with AI. It really knows. It really knows what it's talking about. You don't want to overthink it. And look at the targets that it's pointing out in just such a short period of time.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty amazing. And as we discussed last time, if you're not trading with AI, you're going to be trading against it. In fact, the head of OpenAI was presenting on the financial networks this morning, and I know Elon doesn't like him and all this kind of stuff. But gosh, boy. You have any fear of it? Just a general question about AI, in general, with the speed in which it's moving. Or do you have any concerns about the machines taking over and losing control? Just a general off topic, not even in the world of trading, just AI in general. I'm just always curious as to how people view AI in this world that we're moving into.
So I just came back. I was in Miami for a conference, an AI conference for crypto and AI, and I met one of the top developers, MJ. His name is MJ, Michael. I forgot his last name, but he's actually going to be on my podcast. He was showing stuff about AI, and I'm telling you, Roy, I fell off my chair. He was showing the things that are going to happen. People are projecting in 5 years. He's saying this could happen within 2 years. And you like getting back to my trading, what I've learned about AI. If you think you're smarter than the people on the street, on Wall Street, you're going to lose. You just can't beat them. You got to join them. So when it comes to AI, you're not going to beat it. You got to embrace it. Am I nervous about it? Everyone's nervous about anything. I mean, of course, everyone's nervous about it. It's more or less just making sure it doesn't they somehow someone's going to control it. I hope they won't have like a Terminator, or something like that. That was my
Yeah.
biggest concern. But what
Right.
I've learned and what I've heard, Roy, about what it does, and then I was sitting down with him, and it was showing me things that it does, like on Trustpilot, you could write PowerPoints,
Mhm.
just it does everything. I mean, I was just playing around with it just before we got here. Did you ever talk to AI? I mean, you could literally have a whole conversation with it, and it could just teach you everything. Like you tell it what to do, and like, sure, Fausto, I'll do it right now. It just blows your mind. And if you haven't played with it, you're going to eventually do it. So, like you say, you have to embrace it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because I just got with the latest update on my phone, Gemini's on there, and so I have had a couple chats, not much in general, but it is pretty wild how it talks to you just like it's another person on the other end of the phone. It's like it's a regular phone conversation. It's crazy, but yeah,
It is. It's like a
it's
regular phone
cool.
conversation.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
It's like a full conversation, and it just they respect you. They know what you're thinking, and it's scary. Just it's learning. Like he was showing me
yeah.
like images that how he went from like a week ago till today, how he changed one logo, and it's just like the things that it does, it just blows your mind. And like you would never think of any artist could even build stuff like this or engineers.
Right.
Just like building, even architects, like it will replace architects. Like you don't even need them anymore. You could say, build me a house. I want to look like this. And it'll tell you exactly how much wood you need, how to hit the nail, where to put it, everything. It's
Yeah.
just amazing. So,
Yeah, and then probably doesn't make mistakes either, right? When the human element, there's always errors. But let's switch over and take a look at chart of Bitcoin. Let's move into cryptos and follow up with what we talked about before. We talked a little bit about this off camera before we started as well. We're consolidating that nice big move in Bitcoin following the election. Same thing happened with Ethereum. Nice move going through a bit of consolidation here, although Ethereum is up a little bit today. And then Solana, which had a run, it's going through consolidation. So the big boys are consolidating their recent moves. And is your expectation before? I wanted to look at a couple of the altcoins too. But before we get there, talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, what are your updated comments here? Do you think we break to the upside? I mean, we're just consolidating right at 100,000 on Bitcoin. If you believe what Trump says, he's going to buy what 260 billion dollars worth of Bitcoin if he follows through with what he said.
well, listen, Bitcoin's got there's a lot of coins being for sale right now at 100,000. I mean, it wasn't as bad as it was 2 weeks ago that I saw, but it was about 1,200 Bitcoins looking to be sold 100,000. Now it's down to like 800. So, looking at your chart right there, we kind of call that what's called a Fausto chart. It's consolidation from the bottom where it's seen from 85,000 up. It looks like
Right.
it's consolidating right now. So you got that bull flag that you're focusing on, but buy on rumors, sell on news. So we'll see what happens when he takes inauguration on January 20th and see what happens there. But listen, I was listening to somebody on CNBC telling me that Bitcoin's going to 5 million. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? I'm like, what?
Yeah.
5 million.
Well, we got Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy out there talking crazy numbers too, and he's leveraged that entire game. This was one thing that blows me away. I don't know what kind of control he has over his board at MicroStrategy, but they allow him to continue issuing debt, and he's using all that money to buy Bitcoin. Now he explains it pretty well on how it's almost zero cost money that he's borrowing. By the way he's structuring it, it's pretty ingenious the way he's doing it. But basically, MicroStrategy is just it's a crypto company now. It's a Bitcoin company, and he doesn't seem to get any pushback from his board, which blows me away. So I think we continue to consolidate here, and then we'll wait and see. But as we talked, I wanted to show you these, and I know you had some behind the scenes news that you were sharing with me. I'd like you to share with the viewers on XRP. But here's Cardano. Which has made a nice move after just seemingly dead for a long time, trading down there around 35 cents, and then it took off. post-election. So as we talk about often in the markets where there's rotation, right? When a sector's doing well and the stocks make the big runs, then the money looks, okay, where are the other stocks that haven't performed as well? In your view of crypto, is that what's going on with some of these altcoins, that there's just normal rotation? I know you had some behind-the-scenes news on XRP. I'll bring that chart up. Go ahead and share what you told me before we started recording.
XRP got in a little trouble. They took a huge hit due to some regulation. SEC does not like XRP, but something that they didn't get licensed to do business and now they think they are going to be getting into New York. So that news came out. The SEC doesn't really, there's some bad blood going on there. But now with the new administration coming in, they're going to replace the SEC, a chair on there. Big fan of crypto. Right. So when that news came out, that kind of helped XRP. I like to buy on rumors, sell on news. I mean, the stock obviously had a big run up. Had people asking me, what do you think? Is it still too late to get into it? Listen, when you look at Bitcoin trading at 100,000, when you see Bitcoin trading at 100,000 and people are like, well, I can't afford that. They're starting to attack some of these cheaper coins. So right. I saw this happen when the Bitcoin took off, 3 years ago. So a lot of these things made some big moves. So this is like an industry mover. I haven't been watching it too much. I've been focusing more on the ETFs, a little bit more on the stock ETFs on the Bitcoin side. But I think you're just catching people that are jumping on these because they missed on the big run on Bitcoin. So these are going to pick up. But I would still be kind of careful. They did run up a lot though, Roy. So you got to get some profit taking. Like I said earlier, you need to go down before it can go up higher, and they haven't really tested that yet.
No, they haven't. Yeah, and I don't like those vertical moves. Anyone who's listened to me knows that. And when things go too vertically, I start to get nervous because what goes straight up oftentimes comes back down a bit. Are you a fan of the Ethereum ETF? They took them a long time to get that through and approved. When you're looking at the ETFs, do you look at Ethereum at all? I mean, there's such a mixed conversation regarding Ethereum. There's still some that are real big fans, and then there's others that are like, it's old news. It's probably not going to be the chain of the future, but curious as to your thoughts there on Ethereum.
It's one of the top coins next to Bitcoin, so it's going to probably be there for a while. Doge has been another one people have been talking about. I think that people are starting to jump on the bandwagon of Doge, but I think Ethereum's is going to be there. I mean, listen, it was down to 2,200. We're at 3,700 right now. I would probably, like I said, focus on Doge. I mean, a lot of people are looking at that one. It's still cheap. You could see how it ran from like 15 cents up to 40. Plus, everybody likes the word Doge because of Elon Musk and his new
Department of Government Expenditures. Yeah, that is classic that he creates. That's what it stands for. Department Expenditures. Yeah, so he creates this acronym off the whole Doge thing. Yeah, that was pretty hilarious. But yeah, trading up around 40 cents. Some people are pretty well there.
Yeah, I think if people don't know that, they look like, he's buying the Doge stock coin. So that's probably what it is. So anyway, that one did pretty well. It's cheap. Yeah. And you can see it's like consolidating. It really didn't go down too much. So I think once you hear more and more, they keep talking about Doge, I think it might make the stock go up because of, supply and demand.
Yeah. I wish I could say that I was a visionary in the early days of crypto. My son was trying to tell me about it, and I was like, I was late to the party. I'm all in now, big participant in the crypto world, but I certainly wasn't in the very beginning. So I'm learning as we go, and my point was nothing surprises me in the world of crypto right now. So you just look for where things are moving, and as we talked about before, ride the trends.
Roy, listen, I was exactly like you. My son was in college, and I think he was a freshman. He told me, he says, Dad, I bought this thing called Bitcoin, and, he's showing me all these books that are at it. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you never bought a stock in your life. Oh, no, it's not a stock. It's something different. Okay. Well, it was $500 back then. Okay. Now, if you look at it, I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you out of your effing mind? Why would you buy a five? Because I look at the first thing as a penny stock. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
buying a penny stock at $500. I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, like, yeah, but we're the stupid ones. And sure enough, the thing he got out at like 6,000 or something like that. I mean, now look at it now. He's still crying right now. He's like, I should have had I had a coin and a half of it and this and that. But the point is, like, who knew, these stocks are going to be where they are? I mean, until the street buys into it, until people are invested into it, until like now you got ETFs on it and stuff like that. You get banks like BlackRock and backing it up, but then you have someone like a Jamie Dimon that was going to fire all his traders if they even touched the damn thing. I mean, how's that working out for him? But you're just thinking like traders. You get mixed feels, but sometimes kids are right. Sometimes I go back to them. I ask them, like, what are you hearing on Twitter and stuff? And like going, oh, Daddy, this company that you're looking at, they're talking about, he's like, he owns like a shitload of shares of it, or it's fake or whatever it is. So sometimes listen to your kids, it does work.
Yeah. I always yell at my son and say, you should have been more emphatic with your comments, because, I just blew him off and he let it go. And I was like, oh, hey, you should have made me sit and listen to you, but I probably wouldn't have. He's a young guy. What does he know? But that was my viewpoint at that point in time. You kids are crazy. And that was back when the meme coin or the meme trading was going on during the COVID. And one of his friends came in and then he was just, everything was long, long, long. They were all thinking that they could stick it to the suits, by just buying the heavily shorted stocks and force them to cover. And I said, let me show you how to, protect yourself and trade if things go down. And he said, markets never go down. They only go up. And he walked out and I was like, he's going to lose all his money, which he did. He ended up losing everything. But you can't, at some point in time, you can't tell them anything. But then other times, they're on to the trends, right? And so, I think it's a good message.
Everybody's going to lose. Everybody's losing trading, which is okay. It's a good thing. I tell everyone, because you got to learn how to control your losses and know how to lose first before you can win. It's nice that you had an interest in it and you're doing it and you're trading it. You're learning something that there's other ways of avenues to make money in the market, because you're going to do this for the rest of your life. So, it's going to happen, and it's the ones that could survive and control those losses that are going to be able to do this for the rest of their life. So it's okay. I mean, listen, getting back to your son, my son came to me. I remember, like, they're big video game kids, you know what I mean? And he was telling me that there was a Grand Theft Auto coming out, and it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread. There's a big party at night. I don't know if you remember those days. We got to go at midnight, and it's like 1,000 people out there and so on. I'm like, is this company public? And sure enough, when the company opened up, the thing opened up like 70, 80% higher, that next morning on the launch. So, I mean, they do have good thoughts. They just got to, us as teachers, have to kind of teach them, say, okay, well, just got to know how to control it. But it's good that they all have an interest in it.
Yeah, totally agree. And it's all about finding ideas, right? Whether you find them from AI, crypto, listen to kids on current trends, and, so much marketing goes towards them anyway with TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all the things that are out there now. It's a pretty interesting, diverse world that we live in now. So it's just finding trade ideas, sticking to your disciplines, and you're right. We're all going to make losing trades, and that was what hurt me the most, Fausto. When I first started trading, I traded for 9 months. I had 2 losing trades in the first 9 months of trading. So you can imagine what my ego was at that point in time. I thought it was the greatest thing that's ever hit the world of trading. And then 2000 came, and we had that move down from 2000 to 2002, and that was a rude awakening. But I needed that. You talked about that. Sometimes you tell your people that it's good to have losing trades and all, and that was really healthy for me to realize. It knocked me down several pegs off of the ego, but I think that made me step back. I became more aggressive in educating myself and all, and so then the rest is history. And, could have been even worse had that not happened. So that worked out well for me. So, it always keeps us grounded, and you learn from your mistakes, right, Fausto? So you make mistakes, you learn more from being wrong than you do from being right.
The worst thing that could happen to anyone as a trader is that you make money when you first start out. It's the worst thing that
Yeah.
could happen
Oh,
because then you think like this is so easy. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because and what happens? You just got lucky. You got lucky, and you get into a
Yep.
position, and you think like it's easy, but then you don't know how to control it, and that becomes it, and that's how people blow up their accounts. So it's that just comes with experience, And getting back to your 2000, back in year 2000, listen, if you could survive that in a bad market that we had or the financial crisis and survive that, you could do this forever. I mean, like, as a golfer, you're going to go through some really bad, just a bad cycle of hits,
Yep.
and you got to know how to come over it. So what are you going? You're going to quit? You learn, you got to keep fixing it. You got to learn, and you have somebody critique you and tell you what you're doing wrong. And that's why you're still here. But you got to understand that everyone here that's listening, you're going to lose in trading. You just got to know how to control those losses and be able to, and just get back up and just get focused and start over again. And you'll do well. But you got to learn from those losers.
100% agree. And I like your golf analogy there. And I talk to people about that too. I mean, you see a guy, he'll win 2 tournaments in a row, and you think the way he's playing, he's never going to lose. And then he misses the cut the next week, right? And so how does that happen? How does a guy seemingly not miss a shot for 2 weeks, and then he doesn't even make the cut? And it's just things go in cycles, and everybody has their ups and downs. And, you try to learn from your mistakes and move on and not make the same mistakes again, right? I mean, that's the key. Learn from the ones that you've made. Don't replicate them, and you continue to improve. But you're never going to eliminate the losers. Nobody is right 100% of the time. No trading system is right 100% of the time. Now, we'll see what AI has for this store in the future, but still don't think anything's going to be right 100% of the time. Fausto, I really appreciate your time today. Anything else that you want to share before we wrap things up?
No, listen, just let everybody know if you want to know more about CyberTrade University, feel free to come and visit us. We have an online trading room. We run all day at ctu.co/free. So come see us. We have events like with you guys all the time. And I always try to tell everybody, you got to learn from a little bit of everybody. Don't go out there and think you could just follow and just do some trades on your own and do a couple here and there, listen to a couple of people. You get stock picks from somebody, because it's not about those. You got to know why they got into those trades, everything else. But you're going to need to learn from more than one person. That's part of the trading aspect of learning. Good traders never stop learning. So just make sure you surround yourself with a good group of traders. Don't trade by yourself. Try to find somebody that you have people you have something in common with, maybe their age, maybe their style, whatever it is. But this is something you'll be doing for the rest of your life. It's a great job. We love doing it. We love teaching you guys how to do it and very successful at it. If you ever ask AI what's the success rate on trading, it's going to tell you, oh, it's a 90% failure rate. So why would you want to get into this business? But then when you ask AI, if I find the right group of people and the right education, whatever, you're going to see it's going to go from 90%, it's going to jump up to 40%. So big difference there. So just keep learning, everybody, and keep listening, guys like me and Roy. Listen to us speakers out there, and just find the right fit for you. But once again, thanks a lot, Roy, for having me. It's always great talking to your audience. And like I said, just keep learning.
Yeah, I love that message: diversification through education, right? And multiple mentors, et cetera. Because no single person has the right idea, and that's why I like associating myself with people such as you that have been around and seen a lot of things in the market. And I think you would agree with me that we never say we've seen everything, right? As long as we've been around the markets, we're never going to make that comment that we've seen it all, because we know that something new could come along. But yet we do offer a lot of experience, and I couldn't agree with you more. I really do enjoy helping to educate others, because the market is kind of stacked towards the big boys and the institutions, and what we can do to help the average person, it feels really good inside, and it's a good message to have during this holiday season. So thanks again, Fausto. I appreciate it very much, and look forward to talking to you again soon. And thanks everybody for watching. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Ray.